Yo, what's good? It's your boy Big Steve, and tonight's another episode of Go Blue After Dark, where I'm going to be talking about the matchup between Michigan versus Ohio going down this weekend. Let's get into it. So we got the Buckeyes this week. Number 2 team versus number 3 team. Ain't too much to say about this game. Ain't too much. This game, up until last year, it was painful. Last year we got the dub. This year we trying to break another bad streak, man. We haven't won in Ohio in over 20 years. Yes, you heard me right. 20 years. So, little thing about them, if you don't know, they're the number 2 team in the nation right now. Currently 11-0, 8-0 in Big Ten Conference. They had a couple out of conference games were Notre Dame, Arkansas State, and Toledo. So besides Notre Dame, it was kind of even with the schedules. A little bit about them, they leading passer, Heisman candidate, C.J. Stroud, 2,900 yards passing, 35 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Running back, they've been kind of banged up just like us. Myron Williams, my bad. 117 carries, 783 yards, and 13 touchdowns. Then Trayvon Henderson, the star running back from last year, 107 carries, 571 yards, 6 touchdowns. Now, the sleeper is the freshman running back, 100 carries, 503 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Receivers, they've been banged up just like we have. Smith and Jigma basically been out the whole season. Marvin Harrison Jr., 65 catches, over 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. Emiga, I can't say his name right, 57 catches, 914 yards, 8 touchdowns. And defense, leading tackler, middle linebacker, Tommy with 105 tackles. And there you have it, man. All that equals nothing. All that equals nothing right now. I feel good about this game. I know Blake is hurt, but I still feel good about it. I think some of the key matchups I'm looking forward to seeing is Will Johnson playing against Marvin Harrison Jr. And I say that because I feel that Michigan has prepared Will Johnson for this matchup. Tall corner, got some speed, and so that should be a good matchup to look forward to this weekend. And another matchup I'm looking forward to is the Michigan D-line versus Ohio's offensive line. I feel that if we can control that and we can put pressure on C.J. Stroud, I think this game going to be based off who can put more pressure on the opposing quarterback. They running backs banged up, our running backs banged up. So I feel like we have the better defensive line, and with the defensive line we got, if we can put pressure on C.J. Stroud, we can win this game. Ain't too much to talk about. It's Michigan, Ohio. It's tough to say a high-power offense, but they have one of the most high-powered offenses in the nation. And this is going to tell a lot about our defense. Last game of the season, decide the Big Ten East, ain't nothing else you can ask for. Ain't nothing else you can ask for right now to be in this position. You know, I'm kind of, as sad as it sounds, I'm kind of glad that Ohio came into this game undefeated because it put that much pressure on it. It put that much pressure on it that it's two undefeated teams, 11-0 at the end of the year. And to be honest, I feel after we beat them, we probably have to play them again in the playoffs. So, as we all know, Ohio like to pass the ball. And to be honest, I'm glad they like to pass the ball because I tell people all the time, a lot of these teams are trying to go towards these high-power passing attacks and going away from their bread and butter is costing them games. You know, I feel like the same thing happened with Bama. You know, when Bama was really dominating, winning championships, it was because of their running backs. You know, I feel like when Lane Kiffin came down there to Bama and brought that passing game to them, they were successful with Matt Jones, but other than that, it hasn't been too successful. You know, as you saw last year when the receiver went down in the championship game, they kind of didn't have no offense. It's kind of like Michigan right now with the running game. It's like once Blake Corum went out, we didn't know what to do. So I feel like JJ could be at Ohio right now with 35 touchdowns and 4 interceptions easily. You know, I feel like if he was put in a system where it was a pass-first offense, I feel he'll flourish. You know, but I think with Jim Harbaugh's type offense, he run the ball, don't turn the ball over, don't put defenses in bad spots. That's Jim Harbaugh's game. So, you know, defense, D-line, and linebackers don't have to come to play. Because I strongly believe that our secondary can match up with their receivers. You know, I feel like this is going to be Will Johnson's breakout game. I can see him getting 2 picks. You know, remember I told y'all this. Will Johnson will have 2 picks this game. I feel like he's going to match up perfectly. He's a big corner, man. Or I can come back and regret everything I just said about this video regarding it, but I'm willing to bet my money on it. I think that they're going to come out, 2 safeties over the top. They're going to put DJ Turner on the other guy, and they're going to put Will Johnson on Marvin Harrison. And to me, I love that. I love that because I feel like we have an advantage. I feel like we have safeties now with a little more speed. You know, I feel like for the longest, when we were losing these games to them, we never had elite speed safeties. You know, when we had Jabril, it was a good game. You know, Dax Hill. Dax Hill was the game changer of that game last year. Because when his man caught the ball, they were getting tackled. That's the difference. In previous years, when they threw on the safety, it was gone. It was gone. Dax Hill kind of changed it to where we had a safety with enough speed to, you're going to catch this ball probably, but you're not going to get no yards after catch. And that was the game changer. And so I like that we've been rotating safeties, Page, Moore, Mo, you know, guys back there with experience. We got some corners. I want to see what this D-line do. I want to see Mason Graham get a lot more snaps this game. A lot more snaps. I love Chris Jenkins, but I think Mason Graham just he does way more with way less reps. When he's in the game, he make plays. You know, and that's big. And so far as defense, D-line getting pressure, linebackers making sure they contain with the running backs, and safeties and corners just man up. Man up. You know what they got going to do. Crossing routes, throw it up to Marvin Harrison. Turn around, get your head around, and get some picks. I'm calling it right now. Will Johnson will have 2 picks. Now, as far as Michigan offense, I feel what we're going to have to do is basically do the same thing we've been doing, but just run with JJ a lot more. And when I say doing the same thing we've been doing is outside of the run game has been basically tight ends. And I really like the freshman from Michigan right now. Let me get my man's name. Loveland. I feel like he can be a matchup nightmare for Ohio. You know, they kind of got that Big 12 defense right now. And I remember when Rich Rod brought that Big East defense to the Big 10 and didn't go so good. I feel the same thing's going to happen with this defense. It's not made for a big offensive lineman coming full head on. You know, they're made for spread passes, space. Nah, man, it's Big 10 offense. But I feel like the key, JJ gonna have to get 100 yards rushing. You know, if Blake Corum, I know he's a workout hero, man. I know he's that type of workout hero, but warrior. But if you play football a long time, you know once that leg does that, it's not good. It's not good. So maybe they can give him some screens or something he can just do some straight line running, but he's not going to be able to make the cuts that he normally does between tackles. Donovan Edwards, they saying that they haven't confirmed it, but word is he has a broken bone in his hand. I'm not sure which hand, but with that being said, we can't come out here and try to throw it 45 times just because we don't got the top 2 playmakers in the backfield. I feel we come out, with Stokes, give him about 15 carries, bring in Orgy a couple times, and let this offensive line just go to work. Let the offensive line eat this game. We deep. If I'm Jim Harbaugh, I feel like if we get all our offensive linemen, we rotating. Keegan, Jones, Barnhart, we rotating. We need to wear down that defensive front. To be honest, I don't feel like they got the defensive front to really hang with us. We have a good offensive line. And so, let CJ Stokes get his 15 carries. If JJ can 150 passing, 85 rushing, we win the game. 3 total touchdowns, 2 passing, 1 rushing, vice versa. We win the game. If we can keep it to about, we can get 35 points, we going to win this game. I feel like we can't depend on 5 field goals and trying to beat these dudes. But what's my guy's name? Colston Loveland. Colston Loveland, the true freshman tight end. I like that dude, man. He's kind of mobile. He's kind of shifty. When he catches the ball, it look like he's a receiver. A lot of time I feel like not so much Eric All, but Schoonmaker is more, he's catching the ball, he's getting ready to get tackled. I feel like with Colston Loveland, when he catch the ball, he looked like he's looking to get some yards after the catch. You know, he's that new hybrid tight end in the league that they're gonna, carry Kittle's type where he can be a threat in the passing game. So I don't know if Schoonmaker's supposed to be coming back or not, but I really would love to see Colston Loveland get at least 7 targets. At least 7 targets, man. AJ Henning, we gotta get him involved. You know, he scored the first touchdown last year. And anytime he's in the game, if he's doing that, end around or whatever, he's gonna get people's attention. And so I don't know if he can throw or what, but that's in the bag, man, because it's all in. We can't sit up here and cry that, hey, we don't got the running backs. They got hurt players. This is football. It's gonna be injuries. It's gonna be injuries. That's why you gotta recruit. That's why you gotta develop players. Julian Colston, this your game. This your game, big dog. I see the D-line eating. I see safeties and corners eating. I see Michael Barrett eating. I haven't saw Junior have that game yet this year. This can be your game, man. This can be your game. I want to see if throw Orgy back there as another runner. If we can get 3 yards with him, that's a win. That's a win. I feel like we know JJ go lay it all on the line. He go do whatever he got to do to win this game. I'm excited, man. It's gonna be a good one. I think the team with the best defense is going to win this game. The best D-line is going to win this game. And we can get some sacks and get them in long, 3rd and 20 type situations, we're going to win this game. That was a difference maker. Those 4 or 5 sacks last year was the difference makers. And we lost all that going to the league. When you think about it, those 4 or 5 sacks by Aiden Hutchinson and Ajabo, and then you have Dax Hill was making major tackles in the secondary. We gonna have to replace that this week, and I feel we can. So I'm excited, nervous at the same time because, like I say, man, we haven't beat these dudes in 20 years in Ohio. And I would love to. I'm telling you, I would love to get this dub this weekend, man. So let's get it. I know them boys ready. I love, listen to them talk. Everybody sound like it's a different culture in Michigan. We seem like a team that got the players that should be playing, who had options to go play at Ohio. I remember when Rich Rod came in, and it was the thing that we only got players that Ohio didn't want. And for the longest, it felt that way. Up until, like I say, when Jabril came and Devin Bush, and then we got Rashad Gary, like, in the Jim Harbaugh area, it's like, all right, now we got players that can play on both teams now. We got players that want it, that Ohio wanted, and Bama wanted, and so that culture has changed. I feel like that's what Jim Harbaugh did the most. He don't get praised enough because, you know, we haven't beaten Ohio. Even beating them last year, we're still a 7-point underdog as the number 3 team in the nation. So I'm pretty excited, man. I feel we're going to get the dub. I'm gonna say 35-24. You know, we get a big touchdown at the end, still the game, man. Or who knows, we come back and look at this video and say, damn, this nigga made some dumbass predictions. But I'm pretty excited, man. Go Blue.